Hey, Loco sports fans, welcome back to the Loco Hoops Report. Friday night, I'm running on fumes, man. I had to crash for a little bit this evening, and just lay low tonight and collect the scores. Didn't get out to a gym tonight. Just body was calling to me to take the night off. Big day for me tomorrow, coaching wrestling. But I was keeping tabs here at home at Loco HQ, and I know you got out to Hilton Head Prep. Wes Kerr joining me. I'm Justin Jarrett as always. We've got friends coming. I think we have one in the green room already. Trying to see. Yeah, Nate Livesey is going to be jumping in with us momentarily to give us a report from Battery Creek, where North Charleston swept the night. Interesting. Always strange things afoot at Battery Creek, it seems like. But Nate he'll be on the case for us, and he's got a book out too. So I want to talk to him about that because it's pretty cool.
Yeah,
But lots of hoops to talk about. Wes, you
yeah.
were over at
Let's
Hilton Head
start
Prep,
first with
and it
my
was kind of
game.
a
Hilton Prep.
downer tonight, huh?
Certainly, the girls' game was a letdown. They didn't have Courtney Campbell. They have a couple of other Dolphins in the lineup, so they took a tough beat at the hands of a good Savannah Country Day team. Kenny Conroy coming back to the Lowco and taking on the Dolphins 75-18 with the running clock in the second half. But man, the boys' game was fantastic, back and forth affair, and Savannah Country J just pulling out a little bit more at the end, winning 54-49. Tough one there for the Dolphins. Missed four straight free throws at the end of the game. When the comeback was within reach. So just unfortunate to not be able to seal the deal there, but still a lot to like from what the Dolphins were able to do. Ben Fry had a really noticeable game. He was pounding on the glass, picking up a couple key rebounds. He worked so hard for those boards. I mean, you don't expect a guy of that frame to do so, but he's just continued to really grow his physicality and strength down low,
Yeah.
and he can take it to the rim as well, and pour in some key buckets. He matched Jason Britchie with 14. Britchie was really the guy in the first half and gave Hilton Head Prep some separation. It was a 1 point game at halftime, and it was back and forth all the way until the last few minutes. And unfortunately, Savannah Country Day, a couple of athletes that were able to provide a difference, a couple of clutch threes in that final quarter and in the second half, and then they were just able to get to the rim at will and score a couple and ones at the end to give them the advantage and drop a Hilton Head Prep team that I thought looked pretty solid in this game. Just a couple free throws, of difference down the stretch for Prep, but that's one to build on as you get ready to delve into the Skiza part of the schedule when you really get into region play. So that's a hard fought game. Certainly a tough one to drop, but doesn't really change my opinions about Hilton Head Prep. I think they're a solid squad that certainly got tested in a big way tonight.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with your assessment on Frey. Obviously, we've been able to watch him for a long time now across a couple different programs, and he was a tough kid even when he
Yeah.
was young. So he's grown tougher and tougher as his career's gone on. We're still looking for a few scores. I'm trying to get a ticker going here, but I did want to get to our friend Nate Livesey because he, I believe, is all squared away and ready to come in and talk with us. Nate, we got you, buddy.
Yeah, I'm here.
What's going on, man? To introduce Nate, he was the head coach at Beaufort High School for a couple of years, and then at Beaufort Academy for a few years. After coming down from up in the where were you at, Sumter? Or you were up in the Grand Strand area, right? You've been all over this state coaching basketball, but you've been around here in the
Yeah.
Low Country for a while, and now you're always out in gyms and have great commentary on Twitter. So we're always talking about we got to get you on here to fill us in on what's happening out in the gyms you're in. But you're at Battery Creek tonight. There's always something fun, and when North Charleston and Battery Creek to get together, it seems like. And certainly you had some interesting tweets tonight. So tell us what happened out there tonight.
Yeah, it really was. Thanks for having me on. And I did come from Sumter. Spent about a
Okay,
decade there
that's
before I came to Buford.
and
Yeah.
but you were up in
So,
Florence for a while too,
yeah, it
right?
was.
Is that right?
I was in Lawrence for 1 year, right at the tail end of COVID, or not the
Yeah,
tail end, I
that's
guess,
right.
right in the middle of it. But then came
That's
back to
right.
Buford
Yeah, you've been
because
all over
of
the place.
my.
Go ahead. Lost you there. Did we lose you, Nate?
entertaining to start with. The first.
Oh, there you
the
go.
first
You
half.
cut out for a minute there.
Okay, sorry about that. The first half of tonight's game was really entertaining, really good play back and forth. Looked like it was going to be a battle, and then midway through the second quarter, North Charleston just kind of caught fire, and they went on a 17-1 run. They really it was their offensive rebounding that really made the difference early in the game. They were taking bad shots, they were missing easy shots, but they were getting 2 and 3 shots on every possession, and it seemed like they had a stretch there for about 3 minutes where every possession ended with an offensive rebound and a basket, or offensive rebound and a kick out for a 3. And they pushed that lead out to 20. And then Creek never really could get back into it. In the second half, they made runs after Marco Simpson, a sophomore guard from North Charleston, is really good. He's one of the best players I've seen this year in South Carolina. He had a terrific game. He went down right as Charleston had doubled up, and they were at 46-23. And then when he went down, and then we had the stoppage in play, because I didn't see exactly what lit it off, but when I looked up, there was a whole bunch of fans and North Charleston's bench squaring up at the exit door.
Oh no! Oh no!
So
Jeez. Oh, we lost Nate again. Where'd he pop to? Oh, I think you must have accidentally bumped him out. Sorry, Nate. We accidentally bumped you out of the studio there. Yeah.
Okay.
So gratefully that was handled peacefully. But you've seen Battery Creek a decent amount, and Beaufort lost also tonight on the boys' side to Philip Simmons, 64-59 on the road. So you alluded to it in your last tweet from the Palace, that huge game Tuesday night, Battery Creek and Beaufort, and that's been a pretty lopsided rivalry for a long time now. But I think the boys' side is as close as it's been in a while, from my estimation. How about you?
Yeah, that's what I would think. I would think that would be a really close game. Battery Creek is a great story.
Yeah, you broke up on us again there, but you're saying Battery Creek is a great story, which I agree completely with. CJ's been terrific.
Yeah, a couple of
You there,
close,
Coach?
double overtime wins to start the year. Love the way those kids have been buying with each other. Tough loss to open this region play, but man, we talk about Philip Simmons. That's a quality team that beat Beaufort, as you said. So that's a big time game between 2-1 teams. Obviously, you don't want to go 0-2 when you only play 8 games in region. So it's
Right.
not an ideal place to be in. So it's every game at this point. We only play 8 of them, so the magnitude of it, because you don't want to finish last place. So it's
I think this game is going to be a huge game, even though it is early. The winner is going to really have the inside track to making the playoffs. Because I think North Charleston's obviously going to be really good. I think Philip Simmons is good as well, and so one of those two is likely to grab that last playoff spot.
Yeah, because Hanahan will be tough as well. So you were starting to say before you started to cut out, Battery Creek is a great story. I'd love to hear you expound on that from your perspective.
Yeah, just to like I said, they've already before Christmas doubled up their win total from last year, and more wins than they won the last 2 seasons, and it's nice to see progress, because it's for a coach, particularly a young coach like CJ. It's hard to build a program until you get the momentum going, and I think that's what he has this year. Obviously he wants to finish strong and get into the playoffs. But already to this point, just that you can see the progress. The progress is undeniable, and that's something to build on, no matter how the region schedule goes.
Success,
And so
success breeds success.
Yep, and it was a tough start to the year in terms of football wise, but it's great to see the basketball program, which has had a couple of lean years in the past, really get on the right direction, pull off a couple of monstrous wins in the month of December, and hopefully it carries over and they compete in this region. And win against Beaufort would be an absolutely huge step in the right direction. I absolutely think they can do it. So yeah, let's break down that upcoming contest on Tuesday. What do you think are going to be the major factors and keys to deciding who's going going to take this local on local showdown?
Well, in my opinion, guard play is always what decides high school basketball games. The team that gets the best play, not necessarily even the flashiest play, but the best play from their guards. Both of those teams don't have the offensive firepower to give away possessions. That was one of the things that really hurt Creek tonight, was they turned the ball over too much. North Charleston just got so many extra possessions between the offensive rebounds and the forced turnovers. That's why, they cut the lead from 23 to 11, 23 to 12, 23 to 10, but they never could get over that hump because they weren't rebounding well and they were turning the ball over too much. And so, I think just probably straight off the top, without seeing anything else, you'll be able to look at the turnover numbers on Tuesday and tell who the winner was.
Yeah, and both teams are at their best when they kind of control the pace and play in the half court, I think. But they both, you can be baited into trying to get out and go a little bit more than they maybe should. So, and North Charleston definitely bait you into that in past years, at least. I haven't seen them this year, but they like to get out and go a little bit and try to bait you into playing fast and getting loose with it. So, no, I've been really impressed with CJ's. The job he's done over there. Did you catch any of the girls' game? I know it was 45-44 North Charleston. It was a Donnybrook, as they say.
Yeah, I didn't see a ton of it. I was making a couple of phone calls when I walked in the gym. It was a 2-3 point game the whole time I was there. Battery Creek had a couple of chances late. They had the ball with the opportunity to tie. I think at least twice. And actually, they had a chance to win the game. There was some confusion with just a couple of seconds left. And when the smoke cleared, they were at the line with 3 free throws down, too. But unfortunately,
I'm sure everybody on the North Charleston side was satisfied with that.
No, they were vociferously not satisfied with that. That's actually was sitting pretty close to their fans, and there were a couple of calls late in that game where it was really good to be the home team, and they were letting everybody know that.
That's great. Well, hey, before we let you go, Nate, I do want to give you a chance to plug your book, because one of the things that you did during COVID and just to make ends meet, because you're like me, you've got a complex where you've got to do whatever you're passionate about, whether it pays you or not. So you started driving Uber on Hilton Head and compiling stories, and you just released a book, and I just started delving into it, and I can't wait to read more. But give us a plug for the book, man.
Yeah, so it's 5-star rides, Uber pro tips, and rideshare from A to Z. And yeah, I picked it up. I was working for a nonprofit called World Orphans, and that's the only job I could take that was actually a pay cut for being a teacher. And so I needed to find some ways to make some extra money. And it was about the time when Uber took off. And so I was like, you know what, I'll try this, because, I can drive, 10, 11, midnight, see how it goes. And it actually went really well. It's been a really good tool for me, to be able to, set a schedule. And obviously it's not, not my job, not my main job. But
Right.
Once you learn how it works, and if you can figure out how to do what is in your interest and not an Uber or Lyft interest, it can be pretty good. This is a good spot for it. I spent a lot of time in Hilton Head and Savannah and Charleston, even in Columbia, kind of just, if I ended up somewhere, I could drive. And this really, I would vent on social media with Uber pro tips. And over the course of a couple of years, people were like, hey, man, you should write a book. And after a couple more years, I had time. And I said, you know what, I'm going to do it. And I found a publisher who thought it was a good idea too. And we went to work, and it came out December 12th. And it really, it's an easy, fun read. I tell people you'll laugh a lot and you'll learn a little, just going into how rideshare works, how Uber and Lyft use technology, how they use algorithms, how they use artificial intelligence, really to exploit passengers and drivers. But if you figure out how to make it work for you, for both, it can be good. And just, you add alcohol to anonymity, to disposable income, and the stories you get are wild. Hilton Head, the Heritage,
Yep.
Charleston, King Street, Savannah, Tybee. There's stories abounding. So it's really a no names. Every name is a fake name. Those are
Yep.
all real people with fake names. But just you won't believe what people do. The quote that I kind of hammered was, Mark Twain said the truth is stranger than fiction because fiction is required to stick to the believable and truth isn't. So that's what it is.
Absolutely.
It's a little
Absolutely
bit
a
of
fact.
knowledge and a whole bunch of I can't believe people would do that stories.
Well, you also do lots of hoops training and camps and clinics and stuff. You got anything on the horizon?
No, I kind of shut it down during basketball season, because it's hard to find gyms. So that's really the biggest thing for Next Play Basketball is just finding gym space, and so I really don't even try during November, December, January, February, but come back in March. We'll do some more. The Beaufort Jasper YMCA has been really good, so I'll definitely do some more camps and clinics there in the spring. And then we'll fire back up with our Next Play Basketball camps in the summer as well, hopefully expanding to a couple other locations, and just anything we can do to make basketball better.
That's fantastic. What do you hope to do in terms of envisioning the future of that program and what you hope to accomplish with that and continue to help the next generation, the youth, learn to love and play basketball?
Yeah, that's camps. I've worked camps, gosh, now for almost 30 years. And so it's really a pretty simple formula to make camp a great experience for a kid. You can teach it's kind of like we talked about before. Teach a little basketball, you have a little fun, and it goes from 9 to 3 or 9 to 4 real quick. Last summer was the first time we've been able to do a full day camp. Beaufort Academy allowed us to use their facility for the whole day, and our numbers were great. We had to shut it down. We couldn't take any more, and so hopefully we'll find a couple other facilities this summer where we can do the same thing and go all day. And the summer camps. I got to talk about this. Ryle Owens, who played for me at Beaufort, is a key component to those. Ryle's worked basically every camp I've done in Beaufort, and obviously he's the star of the show. With his he is the perfect example of what you want kids to take out of basketball. It's not always going to be easy, but if you are actually good enough and you want to work hard enough, people will find you. I firmly believe that. Coaches will find you if you can play. But you can't give up.
And you're willing to work. You're right about the willing to work is a critical component though. There's been plenty of people who had the talent that didn't have the want to, and it didn't work out.
Right.
There's been plenty of dudes who were marginal talent wise, but put their nose to the grindstone and found a way. So that is the critical component that some people sometimes forget.
Yeah, you got to keep working. Keep working until they find you, because it's not always going to be on your timetable. Ryle had an incredible senior season and didn't get recruited. He just, college coaches always think they can find better guards. But at the end of the day, somebody's always going to come get you at the end, and that's what happened. Jake Williams at USC Salt came and got him, and Jake's a really good coach, and he got a diamond in the rough. But even that, it wasn't easy. I had to overcome injuries and work for it. And I just every time I get to talk about Ryle, it makes me happy.
He's making us so proud. Still doing this thing over in Europe, and what a journey he's been on.
He gets better all the time.
Yeah.
Well, hey, Nate, we appreciate you coming on, man, and we'll definitely be talking with you more down the road as the season goes on, and I look forward to meeting with you next week.
Yeah, sounds good. Thanks for having me.
All right, take care. Thanks so much. Nate Livesey from Next Play Basketball, Uber Pro Tips. He's got 5-Star Rides, Uber Pro Tips, his book. I just grabbed it in Kindle format and jumped into it the other day, and it's going to be a fun read. But great to have him on. He's been around this area for a good while now, and made an impact on a lot of kids' lives. So And I always love his commentary on Twitter. I get a kick out of it. But let's shout out some sponsors, and then we're going to get another friend in here to talk hoops with us. The MVP sponsors of Lowco Sports, as always, start with my wife, Megan Jarrett, the official realtor of Lowco Sports. She's with the new Anchor Home Group of Keller Williams of the Lowcountry, and she would love to help you find a place in the Lowco to put down an anchor in the best place. This is a place to live, right, Wes? I mean, you've been here your whole life. There's no place better than the Lowco, and you can find your place here with Megan Jarrett, the official realtor of Lowco Sports. And when we find it, we'll call on my friend Jan Lucas and his team at Homegrown Home Inspections, the official home inspectors of Lowco Sports. We'll make sure it's a great investment in this real estate market. And when it's time to sign the papers, we'll go to Mickelson Law Firm, the official real estate closing attorneys of Lowco Sports and our original sponsors since 2017. Call on them for all your legal needs. And finally, Hospice Care of the Lowcountry. Love the folks over there, James Dismond, Sharonica Gavin, just so many wonderful people making an impact in our community with hospice care, palliative care, and free grief counseling, among other services. Because at Hospice Care of the Lowcountry, it's not about dying, it's about living. Those are our MVP sponsors. And now we welcome in from Hilton Head Christian Academy, our friend Willie White. What's up, Coach Willie?
Hey, what's going on? What's up?
What's up,
Y'all
man?
doing?
Sorry to keep you waiting. We had to talk to Coach Nate for a little bit.
Hey,
about his Uber rides.
I was like, man, I might have to get off. That's gonna be a tough act to follow, man. He's a good guy.
Right. No, we got some highlights.
Have you been able to recover from that double overtime thriller at the Nest last night? That was something special. One of the best high school basketball games I have seen.
That's what's up.
What
was your question? I'm sorry, Wes.
Yeah, I was just.
He asked if you'd been able to recover, but I think that was just his way of getting you to talk about it.
Oh, okay, I got you. No, man, it was a good game. It was enjoyable for us. You know, we got the win at the end of the game, so we were definitely excited about that. We showed a lot of resilience to fight off a really, really good Hilton Head squad. So I'm excited. There was no recovery. It was just a celebration, and our boys just showed a lot of resilience.
I was just going the stress level of that kind of game that can get you as a fan when it
wore me out.
And then when Bree Stewart hit that incredible 3-pointer from the corner, falling away to the sideline to send it into OT, and then kept going back and forth until Caden Turner provided the difference. But what a great high school basketball game, and this Hilton Head team certainly proved a lot that they're scrappy and they've got some dudes who can make big plays when the ball game is on the line. We've seen them before this year, but against a really good Hilton Head Christian Academy team, I was impressed. But at the same time, that's a big win for this Eagles squad, I think, especially after a couple of challenging games during the holidays to get back here and pick up a win against the 4A high school league school. That's a big step in the right direction for your program and for this season.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna make any bones about it. I mean, we've played some really, really good competition, but at the end of the day, you've got to win the games. I mean, if you look at the teams that we played, one team is ranked, I think right now currently like number 14 in the state of Georgia. The other team is like ranked 25 in the state of Kentucky. Another team that we played, I mean, they won 14 straight divisional championships. I mean, so we knew what we were getting into when we scheduled this, and we played really well in all those games. It just never went our way towards the end. And I think we learned a lot and we grew a lot. And it's got to be credit to the players and Coach Coella, especially him coming in on such short notice and trying to get these guys out. Because I'll be honest, a lot of people, and I think a lot of fans thought that you could just roll the ball out and we were just gonna run through it. But we took on a much tougher schedule than we did last year, and I think you'll see the results towards the end of the year, and I think this game has started that.
Yeah, I think so too. And, I know the guys are like trying to use it as motivation or whatever, where we have them ranked or whatever, but I mean, that's, it's a snapshot of a moment in time. I mean, we can. It ain't no thing. But like the biggest thing is like, it's splitting hairs. Like that's what people have to understand, and comparing apples to oranges in a lot of cases, and it's just a framework through which to talk about it.
It's fun to kind of compare the teams, but when when you have high school league teams, you have the ski teams sometimes. Well, sometimes they play each other, but sometimes they don't, and you have a bunch of different schedules.
Yeah.
Some of them don't even play as much because they take the holidays off. So it's hard to compare them, and it's just like I said, a snap or like JJ said, a snapshot at one particular moment of the season. Things can change.
Well,
I think if you're a player and you're worth any kind of competitor, you're going to use it as bulletin board material, no matter what's said.
Sure.
And I think so. I think it's credit to those kids, and then in today's social media, something like when we were growing up, would probably only stay in the locker room. And it goes to like everybody.
But now we got a JJ McCarthy. We got to go bet.
Yeah.
They put some pressure on themselves. They had to be sweating when they blew that 9-point lead in the fourth quarter. They had to be sweating a little bit like, whew, maybe we shouldn't have been tweeting.
I think Coelho, he reined them in before the game. He talked a little bit about it. He was like, let's just keep calm, leave all the chitter chatter to everything.
That was a big time play.
That looked like it was going to be the winner right there. That was tremendous.
That was a huge play, man. I mean, that dude had literally just been in a heap on the floor a few minutes before, and he comes up.
Yeah,
with a
that was
play.
big for Harry, man. He played great this game, So he's turned his corner. It's no secret he struggled a little bit earlier this year, but I mean, that's what happens when
once he
people
finds
are
his
now
shot,
starting the game plan from
he's able
you.
to
So
find
he
his
had
shot.
He's learning how to adjust. He's only a sophomore, so he's learning how to adjust when people are game planning for him. So that's just a growing pain that you have to get out.
There's the Reese Stewart 9-3.
That was like one shining moment worthy, bro. That was so good, so good. Fading away in the corner. But no, I mean, like you said, Will, I mean, and like we said, and that's the other thing is like you can take the rankings out of context, or you can listen to the whole show where we provide the context for where we provide the context for what it means or why we arrived there. But one of the things I pointed out to some of the kids last night, the Bluffton and May River kids, is look, it's easy for you to look at one team and go, well, they should be higher. Okay, but you have to justify moving them ahead of those other teams. And I know y'all think you know everything, but I'm the only person here who types in every score every night into the ticker for last night on WHHI. And I'm baking all that stuff into it.
I don't type them in, but I'm looking at them all the time. As long as they're in there.
Right. So I'm saying like, but I was telling that to the kids though. I'm like, look, y'all are not y'all are not absorbing every score in the Fort County area every night and trying to make sense of it all. I am, whether I'm arriving at the right conclusion or not. I have all the data, and so when I'm stacking the teams up, I'm thinking, oh well, wait, but they lost to that team that this team beat. Like I'm doing all of those cross references in my head, and so you can twist yourself up doing that too, but there is a rationale to it. And so unless you want to actually list your 10 and justify the rationale, like that's the exercise is to list your 10, not to just poke holes in somebody else.
And we'd love to see
that's
as you mentioned.
I mean, that's what happens when you have a popular show, though.
I love it. I am not fussing about it. I am not fussing about it. I love it. But my thing is like, don't come at me because I already justified it on the show. Go listen to my justification. And then if you have an issue with it, so be it. But Tanner Racy told me that he thinks HHCA would beat Whale Branch. So if you believe that, then you can jump them ahead. You can justify jumping them ahead of Battery Creek and Beaufort. I don't happen to believe that right now, but
I mean, I just think that's a testament that more teams should play more teams in the area, whatever regional matchups or whatever.
We've seen it this year a lot.
I mean, this year was much better than last year as far as teams, because now you have a better gauge as opposed to last year where it was a lot of teams not playing against each other. So I like it. I think it's good for the area.
I love it. Well, and y'all are doing it, man. You had Hilton Head, Bluffton, and Hampton County. I love it.
Speaking of that, you guys are headed to the Den tomorrow on Saturday for a 6:00 nightcap matchup with the Bobcats. So, another challenging matchup against a Region 7-4A team. And, this Bluffton team, they've looked great at times. They've looked not so good at times, but I think this is going to be an even more challenging test than we saw on Wednesday, especially if Carnell Warren can find his game alongside his supporting cast, which when they've been on it and they've been getting hot shooting, that's been a tough team to go up against. They're very athletic, and sometimes they can excel in transition. So, your thoughts on this matchup with Bluffton as you guys continue to finish out this non-region schedule, I guess, but you only have a 3-team region, so not really. But you're tour through the 7-4-8 teams, I guess you could say.
Bluffton, they're very similar to us, like athletic wise, players wise. Again, it's a rivalry game. All the kids know each other very well. Some of them hang out with each other if you're walking around town. So whenever you're in a rivalry game, it's gonna be a lot of moving parts, a lot different than a lot of people think, even what's on paper. So I'm excited and I'm looking forward to it. The best thing that we can do is just play our game, focus on the things that we do well, and try to shut them out from the things that they do well, because they do a lot of things well, So our job on defense is to take away that, and then on offense is to score.
There's a fact from Coach Nate, aka 5-Star Rides. HHCA's played more games against public school games than some public schools have, including May River, which has only played 4 games, right? Like, they've all been against public schools, but y'all played more than 4, haven't you?
Yeah, definitely played more than 4.
Coach, let's talk about the girls team, and they had to battle through some tough moments, I guess, for their standards. They dropped a couple during the holidays, and they built and learned from that. And certainly a cold shooting night at Hilton that they couldn't buy a 3 until late, but still found a way to win thanks to large part the rebounding of Morgan Scott. But where do you think this Hilton Christian girls team is at as they turn the corner into the new year?
So before let me preface this, we have not played in the same.
I was trying to turn the volume down. Sorry.
This was our second time this season only playing in the same gym, in back-to-back games. So I haven't personally got to see the girls play a lot, so I'm not going to be the expert when I say this, but I would say if you're not having a good shooting night and you still find a way to win, you're probably a pretty good team, so if that's what it took. But I think the girls, Devin, Morgan, and Maya, they did what they're always going to do, and then they had
some big plays.
I was also impressed with Deja Godson. I know you said something, Justin, but man, she's a complete point guard, and I think she played really well. And I mean, she set them up to get a lot of good shots and a lot of good looks. From the times I was going back and forth, I didn't get to watch the whole game, so again, I'm not an expert, but just from what I've seen, she did a really, really good job.
And we praised Leah Jackson a lot, but posts don't score unless guards get them the ball, and Deja's done a really good job of getting it in there to her.
And sometimes that just goes unnoticed because today's culture is all about points and scoring, but defense.
Yeah, and Deja's always been a kid who scores 5 points, but she locks down somebody on defense and dishes out a few assists, and so she's a real asset. And I think she's had a little more freedom to be who she is with just because she's on the ball more right now.
And you're not having that ball usage of Linda Young, and
it doesn't always have to go through Linda.
And she possessed
and that's no disrespect to Linda, because Linda's a hooper, man.
No.
I would want the ball in her hand as well, but I mean, it's also showed that other girls could step up,
Yeah, when I say the ball doesn't have to be, Linda doesn't have to be on the ball. I mean that as in if Linda's in there and healthy, she has to be on the ball. You have to put her on the ball more. So I don't mean that as a slight at all. It's just one of those things where
we're just clarifying. We don't want you
100%. We ain't dissing nobody. We ain't trying to get canceled over here. We don't trash anybody, but we do when people clap at us. We have a little fun. Plus, especially if we can teach some kids a life lesson about, hey, go do something first and then chirp, not chirp and then put the pressure on yourself to do something. That you're doing it backwards. Chirp after, not before.
I think they use it more as motivation. I think
well, that's great. I love that. I love that part
I think
of it.
so. I think in our minds, we're do it the other way. In their minds, they're like, this is what I want.
This is our way.
This is
the way.
way. Yeah.
This is the
This
way.
is the way. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess we gotta let them be them. And they had to mimic JJ McCarthy, but it was funny. It's all in good
I
fun,
like
man.
it.
I am
Yeah,
not
I like
even
it.
a little bit upset about it. I had a good laugh about it. It was good times.
It's all love,
problems
man.
whatsoever.
Like at the end of the day, we're all family.
Hey,
We
man,
all want to see that.
they tried to
all the
kind of
kids
mean
do
mug me
well.
at the USCB game. They tried
Who
to kind of
did?
mean mug me at the USCB game when I
no
went to
names,
give
no
them all
names.
fist bumps, but I wasn't having it. I wasn't having it. I wasn't having it. I'm going to fist bump you, and like y'all are my boys still.
Yeah,
I'm just
exactly.
messing. Like it ain't no thing. I want them to win. You know, I want everybody to win.
Exactly.
But I go to games where only one of them can win, so that's how it be sometimes.
Exactly.
I always love it when somebody says like you
I
want coverage.
I root for real quick. I root for Reese and Kyrie and some of the other kids from Hilton Head, and I mean like at the end of the game when I sit back, I'm like, oh yeah, Kyrie's had a really good game. Like, he took over the fourth quarter. You know, like he scored 9 straight
in the fourth quarter.
Oh man, you know. And then turn around and then Q takes over in the second overtime. I'm like, okay, like like this is good basketball, So
it was. Yeah, it was great. It was a great night for basketball in the Lowcountry. It really was. Just because, and I told Joe Monmonier, what a stroke of genius putting this game on a Thursday night when nobody else was playing.
We need more of that.
You had kids from May River, from Bluffton, from the whole squad from Hilton and Prep. Like everybody was.
We need
there.
more. We need
Brown
more
was
Monday
there.
and Thursday games where, like, when you have those non-conference or non-region opportunities
with the local games or Saturday nights. I mean, those were too.
And I mean, it was picture perfect because, like, school was out for a lot of those schools still, so they could still come out. Didn't have to worry about getting to bed early. So it really kept the atmosphere up. So that was fun too. So nobody's leaving in the third quarter. When they think the
Joe said his only regret was that they weren't in school because he thought the crowd would have been even better.
Right. Yeah, the student section even bigger.
At least for for Hilton Head students, but
maybe for Hilton Head students. You had everybody else.
But it was a great crowd. It was
I mean, I had
place
I had back-to-back good games, between Wednesday and Thursday. So
let's talk a little bit about USCB hoops because you gave a little shout out on Twitter about how every time you go, like something amazing. It's just amazing, and it's true, man. Like it's been so entertaining, and especially the couple you've been to. Like there's been some.
There's some issues going on the first one. Then like I seen the ref and a gentleman that shall not be named. Barking back and forth at each other at this one, and so I mean, and then the amazing thing is that Coach Fadula, he's just calm through it all. Like he's just like like the other coach for Augusta, he is working the refs. And
that I never seen a more animated coach than Coach Dip. That man was entertaining. I mean, Basirico and I could not stop laughing about him. Like he's just
good, man.
He was just finger wagging the refs all night long.
There's a heckler in the crowd behind me that was just like, "What are you doing? Why are you pressing?" And I'm thinking to myself, like, this guy does not know basketball because they're literally either they're going to turn it over and we're going to score, or they're going to get it like a breakaway dunk. And I said, and I think Coach Ron is weighing the odds and the pressure is getting to him more than they're scoring. So, and he was right,
Yeah, and as I said last night, it's a statement. It's one that gives them legitimacy in the Peach Belt and just in Division II in general.
They were Final 14, but
it's also
so they're really Augusta's really a solid team, And in a coaches chat that I'm in, like, that a couple coaches were like, USCB is better than what a lot of people think, and it's turning out to be true. Like they're better than a lot of people think. Now I think they're still the underdog, and some teams will take them for granted. But I think that's not going to last for a couple more weeks, So
no, I think this result got a lot of attention. I think that there was plenty of reason to be kind of skeptical of it up until now, especially like, okay, but can they really like play for that for 40 minutes at that pace against a quality team? Yes, they can. And in fact, Overstreet barely played in the first half. Like was unreal.
Do y'all remember? Wes, you may be too young. I don't want to. I don't want to date your age, but y'all remember like Arkansas 40 Minutes of Hell? That's kind of what it was like.
Hell yeah,
Back in
Mike
the
Anderson coached at Mizzou for
yeah,
years, bro. We did the
yeah,
same thing.
yeah.
It's a
40
lot
minutes,
like that.
and it's a lot like that, and 5 up, 5 out. It's same kind of concept, and it works. And I think people kind of forgot about it in basketball because basketball got so much more athletic and people can break presses. But like if you have some kids like those kids that I saw that just go all out and don't care, not trying to conserve energy, not trying to worry about their stats and just play ball, man, it works. It works. And so
and they seem to all be bought into it 100%. I mean, they love the style of play. It's a fun way to play basketball. It's like all is forgiven as long as you go hard. There's a lot to be said for that. Like whatever happens, just go 100 miles an hour all the time.
Yeah, and Coach Ron, man, he's like the coolest coach. Like I like he does not lose his marbles. He does not his game plan. He sticks to his guns. Regardless, and like they get the job done, man. I'm very impressed.
So
I love when he stands on business on the sideline.
Example, like the Shaka Smart VCU team that got to the Final Four, the Havoc press defense.
Yeah,
that kind of thing where they're
if I'm USDB, I'm trying to lock him up for a while, man.
Right. He seems to be happy as a clam. I mean, he loves the place. He's got a heck of a squad that's going to be good for a long time. And just going to get better. I mean, like we talked about last night, like this opens up a whole different tier of recruits to them. Showing this kind of legitimacy this early.
Well, the guys can recruit
kind of guys that kind of look maybe turn the other way from him.
Overstreet, like you said last night, like Overstreet, definitely D1 talent, man. I mean, I want you to stay with USCB, Overstreet. Don't leave, man. But
well, and my understanding is yes, amen, brother. Build him a gym. Just get the money people need to get on building him a gym, and he'll stay put. Build a D2 powerhouse, and maybe the next Florida Gulf Coast if you play your cards right.
Yeah, absolutely.
But like it's.
You never know.
He's something else, and then you got Versip, who's just out of this world. I mean,
absolutely,
she's awesome.
Talent-wise, they didn't have any business playing with that team the other night.
I mean, she's a legend, great coach. The game plan that she always has out there, like just to keep her girls in games, like even with the injuries from early on, it's like you can just tell, like
you just think about
you can learn a lot from just watching her game plan, her strategies, and like. The girls they can play too, but like when they're shorthanded and stuff, and how she works that system, and all props and credit to her.
I love watching Bartle. She is one prolific passer. She can feed him right into.
She's my favorite. She's my favorite to watch. I love her. She plays. She plays with big time energy and intensity. I just love it. I also love Tania Bowman. I call her Mighty Mouse. She's so scrappy. I love to watch her play. I mean, I really enjoy that team all around. Shania Rose was ill the other night too. Coach told me after the game she had been sick, and it made a lot make sense to me because she just looked a step slow all night, and I thought, man, what's going on with her? She's a little off. Well, she'd been sick, so. That kind of explained a lot for me, but I think if she's healthy, if she's 100%, I think they got a shot to win that game because they were right there at the end. They made a good run, and she's such a factor. She runs the floor well. She passes very well out of the high post, and I've really enjoyed watching that team play. But the men obviously are the highlight, and it gets so high when they get going. Well, and then like you don't even get a chance to like catch your breath. They tip the ball, and then it's like 7-2, like 30 seconds in, and you're like, what
it is go time, and it's just like, I mean, they make good players look like rethink everything, like. Because like there's some players on Augusta that are really, really good, and like they were like, it's like they normally don't turn the ball over like that, like they.
They got in Zaire Edwards pretty good, but Augusta was a really good team though. Like I was impressed with them. I really thought
Yeah.
that they were going to overtake USCB in the second half. I thought, man, there's no way they can sustain this. But can you imagine walking out of there, Coach Dip? You just shot 61% and scored 112 points on the road and lost. That's so aggravating.
And what do you get, dude?
And who's to say, like, if when they play again, if it's not a coin flip again, because they really get after
obviously
it,
the return
they're
trip back to
aggressive.
Augusta, that's going to be to see how that goes down.
Yeah,
But this is
that'll
a
be
team
fun.
that's
But
going
they go
to
to
give
Clayton State
other
on
squads hell
Saturday.
every night. Or they're going to give every Peach Belt team they play. They're going to give them hell, and that's how you.
Oh yeah.
That's how you do it. It's how you
Yeah.
find a way to stay alive, in contention in the conference and to climb up the ranks, because this team certainly has that sleeper Cinderella mentality to them, especially once you get deeper into the season, that they can stay hot and then, find ways to make big plays defensively. That's a team no one's going to want to face down the stretch, especially if they get in better. So I'm loving what the men's team is doing, and the women's team, certainly has been injury plagued to begin the year, but still a ton to like. And with some of those young ladies are really getting going, like Bartlett, Schneider Rose is playing, how good she has been. Sharon Versip is doing a tremendous job, and really both coaches are. This USCB basketball, as the Twitter account mentioned, is here to stay, and we cannot wait for what we're going to see this year. And
Yeah, I'm glad they rolled the product out, man. And again, like for the women's team, like we kind of know the feeling because we haven't had our full squad for a while, so she's doing wonders, with the short squad. So
Sounds like they've got some commitments that they can announce pretty soon. That could be pretty good. And I saw Takoya chumming up with some of the players the other night. He started getting me a little excited thinking about it. Hometown kids staying home. That'd be pretty fun. She's having a terrific year, and she's just such an awesome kid. I mean, she's really matured into an incredible young lady, and I'd love to. She's going to play ball somewhere, and I'd love to see her stay home. It'd be really cool. I think it'd be great for the area if she did. But we'll
4
see.
years of
Certainly.
potentially see what happens. But yeah, we've
Let
covered
me shout out some more sponsors real quick, fellas. Varsity sponsors. Reverence Wrestling Club is the presenting sponsor of the Lowco Grind. We are planning on putting out a Lowco Grind tomorrow night, assuming that the wrestling tournament up at Fort Dorchester wraps up in time. We'll try to get Coach Rutherford on here and talk about Battery Creek Wrestling, the Coach Trap duels, as well as whoever we can round up to talk wrestling on Lowco Grind, presented by Reverence Wrestling Club, the place to go if you want to take your skills to the next level on the mat here in the Lowco. And as well as DDS Web Design, and they build, host, and maintain custom websites for small businesses and nonprofits to get results so you can do more and think bigger. Check them out at ddshhi.com. And the Parker Law Group, serving folks with their legal needs across Hampton, Colleton, and Jasper counties, and coming on board with us to help us expand our coverage in those counties and shine a light on more deserving teams and student athletes around the Lowcountry. Those are our varsity sponsors. Let's see, fellas, do we have any other scores from tonight? Hanahan beat Colleton girls 45-40. Carver's Bay beat Hilton Head girls 49-33. We mentioned 45-44 North Charleston over Battery Creek. I haven't seen a Buford score yet or a Bridges score. Savannah Country Day 75. Courtney Campbell lists Hilton Head Prep 18. A little drop off when she's not available. Cross beat Patrick Henry 71-34 on the girls' side. Boys scores: Phelps Simmons 64-59 over Buford. Savannah Country Day 54-49 over Prep. And then I didn't catch the final in that Battery Creek game, but North Charleston won that. And then I do have here from the Stricklander, who had to go to bed because of work, that PHA boys win 87-57. Forest Fair ahead 23. And Rowan Croft had 22. So
very nice.
Those are the big 7 steals for Forest. Nice night. So that's the scores I have at this hour. you have other scores, hit us up with them. But it's almost time to call this thing a night. Any takeaways tonight? I mean, nothing really.
Yeah, I mean,
that
Hilton Prep,
shocks you per
solid
se.
effort. That's a good Savannah Country Day team, and Ben Fry has really turned into a heck of a player since when I saw him play over there at BA. I mean, just a
Yeah.
tenacious
When
rebounder.
he was Lil Ben, the Ben
confident
train.
Yeah, I remember that Ben Fry and the other Ben.
Ben Van Heist.
Nice. Yeah.
Yep. That was a fun team. That was a fun squad. Nick Field's squad got a big dub the other night. They knocked off like a top 25 team, I believe. Stab. St. Anne's of Belfield. I talked to Nick the other night. He's doing well. Got a baby on the way. Got married. Got a baby on the way. Just living life up in Charlottesville. He's got a squad. They're like top 25 national caliber squads. So he's having a great time. He's an assistant up there. Yeah, he's enjoying it. But great to talk with him. We had one of his former players, John St. Germain III, number 15 or number 14, I think, for Augusta the other night. Played for Nick up there, a Stab.
Okay.
So I texted him during the game and said, I'm calling it John St. Germain III game. And he said, he's amazing. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Livesey and our guy Field go way back. So,
man, Coach Nate knows everything. They're loaded.
Yeah.
They are loaded. Like, loaded. Like, he said, like, the best guys from here would be like the 7th or 8th man on their team. Like, it's not even like they have like numerous people with ACC offers. Like, it's crazy.
But
we got a good problem to have. That's a really good problem to have.
We got ourselves a fun Saturday as well. Let's get started at 2 o'clock with the Christian Academy girls. Great collegiate. Going to be a fun matchup against the always powerhouse, strong 2A squad over there in the high school league.
Yep.
So another test for HHCA. And then the big nightcap Eagles, your boys, taking on the Bluffton Bobcats, and expect another Donnybrook over there to close out the week. But then over at Hampton County, the Hurricanes facing the Whale Branch Warriors, which I'm excited, especially the boys matchup should be a lot of fun.
I would love to be at that game.
Yeah.
You'll be busy, buddy.
No, I know, but I was just saying
Well, you could you play at 6, and the boys game won't start till at least 8 at Hampton.
Yeah, 8 o'clock.
So and I think they play the weekend games in Estill, so it's a little shorter trip. So
maybe,
you might be able to get out there by halftime or so.
We'll see. Maybe Buford's Own is broadcasting the game. I can catch it.
I think they do have somebody. Let me see here, because they might actually.
They have been on top of this year.
No, their next one is Buford Battery Creek on Tuesday.
Shoot.
He's had a busy week. He said he had
for sure. Yeah,
he was gonna do Buford tonight, but he had to take a night off, which I related to. I had to take a night off too. I couldn't go tonight. I was
it's
like,
been a fun week of basketball. I mean, we've had 2 thrillers Wednesday and Thursday with USCB, and then over at the Nest, another good one tonight over at Hilton Prep. It's been a fun, first week of 2024 with a couple of more non-conference local on Lowco games that we'll get to tomorrow until we get to a big slate on Tuesday once things really start to pick up into region.
Coaches, ADs, we need more local and Lowco games, man.
Yes.
Well, I think we're gonna have to set up like the Lowco on Lowco series or something.
You gotta have a one Lowco classic or something.
Well, I do want to do that, but we could also have a series of games throughout the season. Like Thursday night fights or something like where we set up, do some matchmaking. Maybe we could even get some games played at USCB. That would be fun.
That'd be
some
fun.
neutral site games.
That would be actually.
We're gonna have to. That would be pretty dope. We're gonna have to come up with some ideas, boys, for next season and take it to the next level. But let's shout out some more sponsors. The Lowco Booster Club. We got a number of Lowco Booster Club members this season. The Court Lifestyle Pros, Lowcountry natives Daniel and Debbie Court, selling the Lowco lifestyle on Hilton Head Island, so you can live the good life on the island like the court lifestyle pros. Barefoot Floor Care of the Lowcountry. Chris Odom, get your floors so clean. Your feet will thank you. I always say any kind of floors, but he pointed out this morning there's one kind of floor that you can't get clean, and that's dirt floors. So if you got dirt floors, don't call Barefoot Floor Care of the Lowcountry. But anybody else, call them. Get your floors so clean your feet will thank you. Prime IV Hydration and Wellness now open in Belfair Town Village. Great place to go get juiced up with your IV drip full of all the vitamins and minerals you need to feel your best. Rooted Living Wellness. My guy over there is Dr. Ambrose Cole, but everybody over there can take care of you. Holistic health, get you feeling right, mind, body, and spirit. Eagle Creations, great place for custom apparel, promotional items, or custom gift baskets. Go say hi to Bill and Mandy. And Jay's Barbershop, the place to go in Ridgeland, whether you need a haircut or not, but especially if you need a haircut. Jay's Barbershop, the place to be. Love our friends over there. That's our Lowco Booster Club. Fellas, I know where you'll be, Willie. I know where you'll be, Wes. You're going to the same places. I'll be coaching wrestling tomorrow. But anybody else is going to be out at games tomorrow, especially the Hampton County games. We'd love to hear from you afterwards. I guess we'll be on the Lowco grind, but we still love to hear about it. So hit us up on social media. Maybe come on next week and update us. But we'll have the grind tomorrow night, tentatively at 10 p.m., assuming I haven't collapsed in the heat by then. Bus leaves at 5 a.m. tomorrow, boys. It's going to be a long day herding the cats, doing the wrestling. But I look forward to hearing from you guys about how it goes in the den, as well as that Gray versus HHCA girls game.
That's going to be fun too. I'm going to try to make my way over there in the afternoon to see that. That should be good.
Nate will be there as well.
Powerhouses going at it.
Man, I have such FOMO. We'll see what time the wrestling wraps. I guess I might be able to make it over there in time. But if
you're
I'm
gonna be passed
awake,
out, man.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna be passed out. Although I plan to sleep on the bus. Plan to sleep on the bus.
Yeah, that's not a good rest though. You know that. Those bus sleeps are good.
No, they aren't. And the adrenaline runs too high during a wrestling tournament to be able to slip away and take a nap. You just can't do it. So I'll hope to be upright, ready to do the grind tomorrow at 10 o'clock. But that's going to do it for tonight, guys. We're going to sign off a few minutes early. Not a lot more to say, but it was a great night of Lowco Hoops. Been a great season so far, and we look forward to the rest of the journey. Thanks so much, Willie White, for jumping on with us, as well as Nate Livesey, first of many appearances, I'm sure, for him. That was fun. And thanks to everybody who listened or watched, as well as all of our sponsors. That's going to do it for tonight's Lowco Hoops Report. We'll be back tomorrow, 10 p.m. for the Lowco Grind, and then again Monday for the Lowco Sports Lowdown. For Will White and Wes Kerr, I'm Justin Jarrett. Until next time, go Lowco.